there we go. It says we're live now. So just need to check in the group. So just bear with me. I'm going to see if we are actually live. Okay, there we go. So no, that's not it. Where is it? There we go. There, we are definitely live. Let me just turn the sound off. So Sam, what I'll do first of all is I'll just introduce you to everyone.
Yeah.
And get people to comment and like, because then what that does is that shows the Facebook that people are watching this, and then it will start showing more people in the group. So it normally takes a couple of minutes, and we're a little bit late, so people are probably thinking what's going on.
Yeah.
So apologies, technical difficulties. You can tell this is live. We have problems with technology as well. So tonight I'm really, really excited. So we've got Suzanne. So when was it you stopped working with us, Suzanne?
February.
Okay, so that's what, 8 months, nearly 7 months. Yeah. So yeah. we haven't worked with Suzanne, so I could be opening up a can of worms here. Stopped working with us 7 months ago. Like, it's not part of our private members group, none of that stuff. There was literally I was just chatting about her banging her head open a couple of weeks back. So we haven't discussed, what we're going to talk about, what she's going to say or anything like that. So it is completely live. You're going to get 100% truth, honesty, I guess, from Suzanne. She's going to no holds barred on that. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm just going to basically have a chat with Suzanne about what her experience was with us, what's happened since working with us, because I think a lot of people, obviously they've seen we're successful and we get great results, but we haven't had loads of people that used to work with us on. So I think this is going to be really, really helpful to get an insight into what is the long-term impact, whether, you've regained all the weight. And if so, I've definitely shot myself in the foot, or what's happened since. So for those that are new, I go live every single Monday at 8 p.m. So if you're new to the group this week, so I know there was 85 women joined this morning. So if you're new to the group, like in the last week or so, I go live every single Monday at 8 p.m. It's inside the free group. So all you got to do is around 8 p.m, refresh the page, scroll up and down. Normally I will be on time, so I do apologize for being late this week. If you're watching as well, just say hello, just engage with us, or press the like button, press the love heart button, just so that we get some engagement. The reason why I say that is because as soon as there's some engagement, Facebook will pick up on that and it will start showing it to more people. And obviously I want people to be able to find this and get the benefit of hearing from someone who's worked with us and the things that she's kind of learned. So that's it. I'm gonna stop talking. So I guess the best place to start, Suzanne, is where were you? Like, what was the problems you were facing before we first spoke? Like, what had happened over in the past?
Well, I think we were in lockdown when I got in touch with you. I think the first major lockdown when I wasn't working, because I'm working at school, so we'd shut down. And I think basically I'd been on every single thing on Facebook, everything, and even had the weird and wonderful of eat God knows what, and you'll lose 10 pounds in a week, all that. I was that desperate. That's what I went for. But the thing is, and a lot of people say, but you didn't have very much weight to lose. And I didn't, but it wasn't just about that. It was about breaking that, that cycle of going down the road of just wanting to try everything and wanting to know that it wasn't my fault. Because I just felt it was my fault all the time, because I was doing this and I had a stone to lose. So any ladies that are watching that think, oh, just a stone, 11, and you've got a stone to lose, it's a lot. And when your mindset is in the mindset mine was in, it's a lot. And I don't know whether you mentioned, Adam, but I had, still a little bit have body dysmorphia, but not as much as I did when I first joined, which is even worse, because what you see in the mirror is not just a stone's worth of weight. Could be whatever you feel like on that day. So basically I was at that stage. I'd been on the cabbage soup diet, the Cambridge diet, the shakes, the eat these chocolate biscuits and all of that rubbish. and they were going to be the be all and end all of my life, but they weren't. And I came across Adam, and even then, even when I spoke to Adam, I was thinking, oh, I don't know, you know, this is my last resort. I'm fed up with doing everything. Is it going to be another one of those faddy things that when I finish or when I'm on it, I'll just pretend and lie and say I've lost all this weight, but I really haven't. And I'm pretend to be happy with it. And then when it's over with, gain it all back again. But it didn't. You'd be pleased to know. And my goal weight was 7 stone 9. I'm actually 7 stone 4. So, and I've been 7 stone 4 for 6 months, I would say.
Oh, amazing. That's awesome. That's brilliant. That's really, really cool. Okay. So if we take it back like a little bit, because I'll be honest, Sam, I think not like everyone has some form, or not everyone, a lot of people, including myself. Like I think I had it a bit when I was like in my early 20s, especially. Like I thought I was a lot fatter than I've never really been fat, to be honest, but I thought I was fat and I wasn't. I think a lot of women kind of experience that, where they feel that they're bigger than they are, or even in some cases smaller than they are. How did it impact you? Like, and how long had you kind of felt this way?
Since I was 18, basically. And through speaking with your coaches and Chloe, I don't know whether Chloe still speaks on your, but if she does, ladies, if you're like me and you have got or you did have an eating disorder, I'm now coming out of it, listen to anything that she says, because she is amazing. And I knew it all stemmed back from there. But when you're 18 years old, you don't realize it's mentally affecting you at all. So yeah, since I was 18, I've been on and off a diet since I was 18. I'm now 54, and that is how long I have been on a diet for, on and off. You know, I mean, I can't say I've constantly been on it, but I would say every 6 months I would probably be on a diet.
Yeah. And like, I think one thing that I know that I speak to a lot of women about, and they're like, but how, like, and it's sometimes really hard for me to answer, because I know, just as you said, I know coaches like Chloe are incredible. Like, they have so much, like Chloe's she's actually trained to be a counselor now. So she's a therapist, she's trained to be a counsellor, she's qualified to be a life coach, she's a nutritionist, she's worked with women with eating disorders, she's had eating disorders herself. Like, she's incredible. But like, I guess what people probably wondering is how. So was there any kind of things that Chloe did or said, or any of the other coaches that did with you or said, that helped you to change your mindset and change that kind of stuff?
One of the biggest things that everybody kept saying, yourself as well, was nothing is out of bounds. Basically, nothing is bad food. Nothing is, you know, you can have a glass of wine. You've just got to learn and to know that there are times you're going to have too much. I still do that now. I still sometimes think, do you know what? I really feel like eating half a box of chocolates. But what you've taught me is to not feel guilty about it. And I think the guiltier you feel about it, the more you want to do it. Because, okay, I'll get up in the morning and I had a really bad night last night. I was watching a film, didn't realise I'd eaten half a box of chocolates. Never mind. It's life goes on. Whereas before, the half a box of chocolates would have been a whole box of chocolates. Then it would have been something else. And then if I'd ran out, I'd have to go to the shop and get something else. And then that would lead to starving or anything else that what I felt like doing at the time. But I know, and you've taught me that eating half a box of chocolates one day is not going to put every single bit of weight on that I've lost in one day. If I carried on doing that for weeks and months on end, it would. But I don't think I would now, because not feeling guilty that I've done it is a big thing. And that is the main thing. And I think probably a lot of women can, sort of feel the same way about that, is every time you say the word diet, and you eat something that you are not, or they tell you you're not supposed to eat, instead of learning to eat it, but not in the, not to, too much of it at once, and knowing that you can still enjoy it. I don't have to have five, cream cakes or 10 glasses of wine. Not saying I ever had 10 glasses of wine, but I'm just saying to enjoy life. You don't. And it's the habit thing. The habit thing, I'd seen a lot of people at the moment saying about habits and stuff, but it's just not the same. I can't explain it. It's just not the same. And I never felt, none of you ever made me feel like I was a failure. There was always something else to work on. And I think that is the big difference. Like, you don't go to a diet club and they say, well, it's all right if you have a couple of glasses of wine, because that they call it sins, or they'll do this or they'll do that. Well, it's not a sin, is it? It's not a sin to enjoy yourself. But that's what exactly. People put in our heads, isn't it? That it's a sin.
I think that is the. I think that's like important to recognize. Like food and alcohol is supposed to be enjoyable. Like, it's pleasurable.
Yeah.
And I guess like what you're saying is understanding how to balance that and how to do it in a way where you can enjoy yourself without it kind of taking over. Like, we tend to work with people for at least 12 weeks. Like, did all of this just change overnight?
No, because I started off doing the, I didn't track, first of all, because I think I said to you, and I've also said to a coach, that I wanted to get away from tracking, because that was my downfall, that I'd have to track every single thing, and that would run my life. That's another controlling factor in my life I wanted to get rid of. But I did, when I was, I think about 3 months, I did start to track, because things didn't happen quickly. And that's the point of it all. It doesn't have to happen quickly. And because it didn't happen quickly for me, I felt, well, maybe I was doing something wrong. Maybe I'm stressing about the fact it's not happening. So just to do it would help me know how much I could eat, and how much how much food I could eat, regardless of what it was. So I could get myself used to that, so that I wouldn't have to do it again. And I'm not going to lie, I do sometimes track, but that's only if I know I've got a birthday or I've got a night out I've got to go on, and I think, do you know what, I won't, that biscuit that I have with my coffee, I'm not going to have that, because I want to have that glass of wine, or a couple of glasses of wine, or whatever. And I want to manage it that way. And it's not hard work. And it seemed at first, oh my God, that's far too much like hard work, having to plan. Why would anyone want to do that? But it just comes naturally after a while. And yeah, it does take time, but once you get it in your mind, and it's not, I'm not saying it's a miracle work, because I'm human. I'm still going to have times when, I, like I say, eat that box of chocolates, or, drink too much wine or whatever. But it's just the mindset that you're in, and the fact that just don't beat yourself up about it, because it's, that will stress you out, which makes you even worse.
I think that's really important to note, like, because a lot of people will go, do you know what, I can do it on my own. And like, even our clients like yourself, like you not only hit your goal, you surpassed your goal, and now 7 months after leaving us, you're lower again, and you've maintained it. So a lot of people I know will probably watch this and go, oh, I can do this on my own. But as you've just highlighted, like, they don't see that. They don't see that there are challenges, there are plateaus, there are these problems. And like, typically when people are on their own, like, your experiences, I guess, in the past, when you've been on your own, you've had those times, what's happened?
Well, I think it's like a lot of people said, there's so much out there in the diet industry, and so much of, they want, like with ARC, and I'd be truthful here, your philosophy is you do not want us to keep coming back, because the whole point of it is that you leave, you're able to go out on your own, and then you can control your weight up and down. I mean, I've been on holiday, I put £4 on or whatever it was, or £5, and it didn't bother me because I knew I just knew that it's not a big deal. Because, you know, some women can put that on in a day sort of thing with whatever cycle they're on. So that's what I wanted. I wanted something that when I left, I would honestly say, I'm not going back there again. And I don't need to go back there again. Whereas all these other things that you do, you have to, you're not eating this, you're not eating that. They tell you what to eat. They tell you when to eat it. They tell you fast, this, that, and the other for this, that many. There's so much of it, and it's too confusing. And to just go to one place for someone to say, well, yeah, you can eat chocolate, you can have a glass of wine. It's not against the rules, because life happens and eventually you've got to live in the real world. So to do these silly, you know, diets of, I mean, it might work for some people, don't get me wrong. If people don't want to eat eat until 12 o'clock, it's up to them. But I don't, it's too confusing. It's so confusing for these ladies that are coming into, you could just put anything in the internet and get anything, basically. And the internet's the worst place to go, isn't it, really?
So there's so much misinformation out there, like I hear all the time. And it's really hard, because I don't want to offend someone and say, well, actually that's wrong. Like, no. And that's not helpful, because straight away, like, it gets someone's back up, and then I'm in a, an argument. But there is so much, like, and I hear it all the time. Do you think, just out of interest, do you think having a coach, do you think the coaching made a difference compared to anything else?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people might think, yeah, but that's just like going to a diet club and getting weighed in every week. No, it's not, because it's not just 5-minute chat. I mean, these chats with your coach could be an hour, could be, depends on what you need that day. And also, I knew if I needed it's Katie, wasn't it? If I needed Katie, and I still sometimes reach out to her, but only sort of like for a personal thing, because she runs and stuff like that. But I knew that out of my time slot, if you like, and I needed to get in touch with her, she'd always be there anyway. So I could, get in touch with her and say, oh my goodness, I've eaten the whole packet of biscuits. Help, I want you to help me get through this, because I don't want to eat another, see what I mean? Yeah. Whereas other people they're not there to do that, are they? They're there to make money, want you to keep coming back because they want you to keep paying your money. So why would they be there for you all the time? There's no point, is there? Because you won't come back and pay your money, would you? So yeah. So
what for you was the biggest difference from all those other, like you said, you literally have tried everything. So was the biggest difference the flexibility? Was it the coaching? What was the big difference?
The big difference, well, it was all of it really, but the biggest thing that sold it to me really was when we were talking about changing mindset and changing my mentality around food. And being honest, I'm not 100% cured, if you like, of that. I'm still going through that. I'm still, trying to heal that part of my life, because that happened overnight. But for someone to just tell you that you're not a failure, that you can do this, and that, I'm not going to lie, it will take time, you can't do it overnight, was the biggest thing, I think, for someone to say, and you can do it. When they say what you like, that's not what I mean, because if you ate what you like, sometimes you'd eat so much, it's not true. But learning to eat what you fancy and not go overboard was the biggest. And to be honest, at first I didn't know whether it would happen. I really didn't know whether it would happen, because you have to make this commitment, and then you think, well, is it going to be the same as before? And I wouldn't be sitting here 7 months down the line losing a nut. I've not been this weight since I was probably 19 years old.
Wow, really?
No, I wasn't even this weight when I got married, and I literally, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was happy with the way I was, kind of, but I'm smaller now than when I got married. I know a lot of women say that, but I only got married 3 years ago, so you know it's it's all relative.
Oh, that's brilliant. If you were to give any one tip, like one big thing that really helped you, for anyone watching, whether they struggle with body dysmorphia or they struggle with their relationship with food or anything at all, what one thing would you say would really help them that you took away?
Right, I would say go to every single training, watch every single video. I mean, not on the first day, obviously, because it's just too much. But I watched everything. I was engaged in everything, and it's not a lot of time out of your life to learn. You can learn so much by just engaging with everything. I think I came onto all the talks that you guys did, all the, you know, Chloe's stuff, the BTN guys stuff, all of that, and be active in the group, because they're like your friends. They're all going through the same thing as you. So that is the biggest thing. And I think Katie always said to me that one of the reasons why I was successful was because I engaged in all that, because I love learning things. I love to know why. And especially with you guys saying it how it is, and you know, it's amazing what you think and what's in your mind and what people have put in your mind for so long, and then you guys coming around and saying, well, that's a load of rubbish, actually. This is the reason why this happened, and that's the reason why that's happened. And no, you don't have to eat carbs at 5 o'clock in the morning, or no, it doesn't matter what, as long as you don't go over your calories. It's just amazing. Whereas, all these people are saying, can't do this at this time, can't do that. So I'd say go and watch everything. Absorb as much information as you can, because it really helped me.
Well, I've got some good news here. I've just finished it. It's taken me a while, but anyone that's ever worked with us, so if they committed for at least like the 12 weeks, they've got access to like a curriculum, which I'm going to send over to you. I'm going to send to everyone that's ever worked with us. But because how long were you with us, Suzanne? You were with us
6 months. I was with you, just over 6 months.
So anyone that was with us 6 months is also going to get access to a maintenance curriculum that we've put together, which has like how to manage self-sabotage, the science behind weight maintenance. So you're going to get access to both of those. So I'm going to send you those over the next month or so. So you'll have that forever that you can go to. So yeah, we've done that now. So when people leave, they've got kind of stuff to take away with them. So lifetime access to it. What about the women that aren't working with us, may never work with us? What one tip would you give them? What one thing has really benefited or helped you?
Work on your mindset. I know this sounds really weird, but meditate, for goodness sake. It's the best thing ever. I would say even just sitting on your own for 5 minutes, thinking about you, and shutting the kids off. I mean, I'm lucky my son's 22 now, but remembering what it was like, couldn't even go to the toilet without them. I mean, you know that, Adam, with your children, you can't even go to the toilet without them being in the same room.
That actually happened this morning. I was going to the toilet this morning, my little boy walked in. It's only not even 2 yet.
Yeah, see it, and it'll go on for a while as well, I'll tell you. So I'd say take that little time that you can for yourself, and you are not a failure if you eat 5 biscuits, for goodness sake. Just get back on it, stay on it. It's not really, it's a lifestyle. So just go back to it and think, you know what, I really enjoyed those biscuits. I'm not going to eat 2 packets of them now. I'm going to enjoy the fact that I've eaten them. I don't want to make myself feel sick. I don't want to go to bed with groany tummy because I've eaten too much. I just want to feel good about the fact that I've eaten 5 biscuits and that's it, over with. That's what I'd say.
I think that's great advice. So we've got some people on tonight, but they're very quiet. Normally people are really interactive. So I guess they might all be newer people. So if you're watching live, this is the part where I'm going to ramble on a bit, because I know we're slightly ahead, but put your questions in the comments. So if you want to ask Suzanne anything about her journey, so about, you know, anything she struggled with, anything that really helped her, anything about what she said, or about working with us, or, you know, you wanted to expand more on that, you want to ask me any questions. So this is your opportunity to kind of stick questions down below. So I'll give it a couple of minutes. I'll ramble on for a little bit. And if we get questions, great. If not, then a nice short one for me and Suzanne. We get to go and, well, Suzanne gets to go to bed. I've got some work to do. So yeah, if you've got any questions, otherwise, if you enjoyed it, let us know in the comments below. You know, give a like and a love heart for Suzanne for coming on, giving us her time. I really appreciate it. Here we go. Yeah, Gabby, yes, first live session. So did you enjoy it, Gabby? Let us know in the comments below if you found it helpful. Anita's on live. I think she's new. So let us know how you found it. Sue Harris, she's new to the group. Sue Smith is new to working with us. Dev's just started working with us as well. Deborah is still working with us. She's been with us a while. Sue's working with us. There's a few people that are clients.
Lots of Sues.
Yeah, lots of Sues. Haley, Catherine, Jessica, they're all relatively new to the group. Tracy, all new to the group. Okay, so Jessica asked how much is the program. So Jessica, in terms of how much, it depends. Like, we tailor the program to the individual. So there's a process. First of all, I'm gonna be really upfront with you. To work with us is invite only. So not everyone will be invited to work with us because we can't help everyone. We only have limited spaces. We work one-to-one. So with that in mind, I want to make sure. So for example, there are certain situations where we wouldn't. So I had a woman I spoke to who had just had a child. I think it's about 3 weeks ago. And from my perspective, I was like, we're not specialists at postpartum. And I pointed her in the direction of a woman that actually is a specialist. And it's not because we couldn't help, but that's not what we specialize in. We had a woman that had some issues that we couldn't really solve. But rather than just take her money and sign her up, I said, look, I don't think we're the right people for you right now. So it is invite only. Before we even talk about money, before we even talk about how much, we would make sure that we can even help you. And what we do is the right thing for you. And you are comfortable working with us and it's the right thing for you. So if you are interested, Jessica, feel free to send me a message, or I can get Tom or Ash, who work for me, to get in contact with you. So let me know if you'd like me to contact. Okay, so this is a really good question. So Sue's working with us at the moment. And she said, after you finished working with ARC, what motivated you to keep going?
Habits, I guess. Habits that I had built up that I didn't want to lose. And I'm still changing habits as well. It doesn't stop. I don't know. I think it's because I'm beginning to be in my process of my body dysmorphia and all of that stuff. I'm beginning to recover a bit from that. So I think in my mind and my mindset is better, because now I know what to do, and I'm happy about the way it's going, and I'm happy when I put clothes on and they're too big. I'm happy, you know, it's that feeling. And that feeling, it's great that you just don't want to lose it.
I think that's a really good point, actually, because you said, like, you got to a point essentially where you'd felt you'd cracked habits, I guess.
Yeah.
So I want to make this really, really clear. Like, that I would say about half of the women that work with us finish after about 12 weeks. The other half stay with us anything between kind of 12 weeks and a year. We have a couple of people that have stayed with us longer than that. The length of time it takes is dependent on the individual and what challenges they have. So it depends how long it takes for everything to kind of go click. Like, the last thing we want, as Suzanne's rightly said, is we want this to be once and only. Like, once you work with us, that's it. The goal is to never ever work with you ever again, but also you never go to another diet again. So yes, we have had in the past where people have done 12 weeks and they're like, oh yeah, I think I'm fixed now. and they leave too early, and they're not quite the right time. So what I would say is, if you're working with a Sue, like if you feel like 90% sure that you don't need any support anymore, you've cemented the habits that you've needed to change, great, off you go. Like if you're not sure, then I would give it a little bit longer and just keep reviewing that until you're in a place where, you know, Suzanne said, look, I felt really confident I'd change those habits. But another good point Suzanne said is, this is not like you do your 12 weeks and you're fixed for life. This is, you do your 12 weeks and you have to keep working on yourself as a person. Because what I think, I want to highlight this because I think a lot of people, you know, they say, oh, I want to lose X amount of weight by my 50th. I want to lose X amount of weight by my holiday. And with that mindset and that approach, you're always setting yourself up for failure, because either if you go too far off course when it's before the holiday or before the, you know, the birthday, then you're going to feel like a failure because you'll never get there. Or when you get to that point, the holiday or the, you know, the birthday, then what? You've got there. Now what? Now what are you going to do? Like has to be a long-term lifestyle thing. If whatever you're doing, you can't do for the rest of your life, then what are you going to do? Ask yourself the difficult questions. Is there anything you wanted to add to that at all, Suzanne?
I would say it's the guilt as well. If you can control the guilt on, you know, you go on holiday, and if you can go on holiday like I did a month or so ago, and not, I mean, you've always got something in the back of your mind that will make your choices different. So you've now changed your mindset. So the choices that the choice of your dinner you would have automatically comes. You don't say, oh, I wish I could have that burger and chips, but I'm not going to have that because I'm going to have that salad. I don't mean that. I mean, you just automatically substitute things, and I do. And I still have a cake, and I still have, you know, I still have a cocktail, and I decided I wouldn't even think about it. I didn't go on holiday to have a binge or anything like that. But if I wanted a cocktail in the middle of the day, because it was, you know, it's nice and sunny and you're sitting there watching the world go by, and you wanted a cocktail, I wouldn't think to myself, oh, I better not have a cocktail with cream in it because it's, you know, better just have a cocktail with low calories. So I never thought that. And if you can get past, and that was my biggest thing to get past, the fact of I feel guilty having that because everybody's told me I shouldn't have that. And that is the thing. If you can work on the guilt is the biggest thing, was the biggest thing for me. Well, wasn't actually, there was the body dysmorphia bit, but out of everything else, it was the guilt. And if you can get rid of that guilt and just think to yourself, do you know what? I'm going to have a week off of dieting, or if you know, dieting as such, I'm going on holiday. I don't care. I do care what I eat, but I don't care if it's got cream in it. I don't care if the sauce is, you know, 4,000 calories or something. It isn't, but do you know what I mean? It's just that. If it was, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah. It's just that feeling of guilt, and guilt is the biggest thing that stopped me from doing anything. Basically, I was too scared not to eat what I was supposed to be eating, and that's one of the things Art taught me as well. Just don't be scared about eating these things, because you're not suddenly going to turn into, I don't know, something completely different because you've eaten a cream cake. Do you know what I mean? Because cream cakes are going to be there for the rest of your life, not just suddenly going to go. So you've got to learn to eat them, you know, when you want them, basically, but not all the time.
Sue Harris asked a really good question. She said, how long did it take you to like yourself when you looked in the mirror?
If I'm honest, I still don't 100% like myself, but it was when, I think it was when I got to my goal weight, and without even thinking, I lost those. I mean, I have gone down to as small as 7 stone 2. So it wasn't, I go between 7'2" and 7'4", and sometimes maybe a little bit. But it was when, and I know it sounds really, really weird, but women can probably feel the same as me. It's when I put clothes on that I thought would always be too tight. And for instance, I had a dress that I wore on my hen night, and I wanted to take it on holiday. When I put it on, my husband said, you can't take that dress, it's too big. And when someone says that, the feeling of that when I thought I looked fantastic in it on my hen night, and then you put something on and you think, 3 years ago, this dress was lovely, and now he's telling me I can't wear it because it's too big. For someone to say that, it's just like, wow. So I think you then begin to see what other people can see, like your husband or your partner or whatever can see. And you suddenly do think, well, you start picking on smaller things like, oh, maybe I should tighten that up a bit. Not, oh my God, look at this, look at you. You look about 5 stone overweight. Because, there's no way on earth you can be, because that dress doesn't fit you. Yeah. And no one's gone in there and stretched it or put a different size in there. So, it was your dress. So, yeah, I think that is when I can look at myself in the mirror now and just sort of say, well, oh, so you're looking a bit bloated today. Maybe, you need to drink a bit more water or whatever. So I think that was probably because my body basically takes quite a while to change, and all of a sudden it will change and you just don't realize it because it's taken so long. You just think, oh, I haven't changed. But yeah, that I can look at myself and think, oh, you don't look that bad today, Sue. Whereas I used to go past the mirror thinking, oh God, having those photos taken was awful. When I had those photos taken to send to you. And even now, I think I wouldn't mind taking them so much now, to be honest. Maybe I should do that, see what the difference is.
Yeah, definitely. You should. I bet you'll see another difference. Caroline also asked, how long did it take to not feel guilty when eating something that you used to think wasn't good?
I would say probably about 4 months. About 4 months work, I began to not feel guilty after 4 months, because I think, I can't remember, did I get to my goal weight about 5 months, I think? And then, so it might have been 5 months actually, because I think I got to it between 4 and 5 months. And then I was just, oh no, it wasn't. I maintained, didn't I, for a while?
Yeah, you
probably
maintained
was 4 months. Yeah. So I maintained for about a month, I think. Mm-hmm. And I think, it took me that time. And then, of course, when you go onto maintenance and your calories go up a little bit more, I thought then, oh God, I'm gonna feel awful, because that means I can eat more, and I'm gonna panic about that. But I didn't, and I think it took me about that. I'm not saying I still do have blowouts sometimes, and I still do think, oh, what did you do that for? But I don't lock myself away in a room and cry myself to sleep anymore. But I do actually say, well, what did you do that for? So you didn't need to, because this, that, and the other happened at work, or, I was just feeling I'm going through the menopause at the moment as well, which doesn't help. So you're just feeling like my body ached a bit too much or something, anything can do it. But it's just that knowing, okay, that's happened for one day. That's it now. So yeah, there's still a tiny little bit of guilt, because this is like, we're talking about 30 odd years of dieting here, 30 plus years of dieting. So to sort of like get that away forever would take a long time. But
I think that's a really, really, really good point, Suzanne. Like as you've already really clearly highlighted, it's always a work in progress. It's not like, right, 12 weeks, bang, fixed, 6 months, fixed. Like, because if that's from my experience, if that's the mindset, then probably things will revert back. Like if you think, I'm just making changes just for this 12 weeks, or I'm just making changes just for 6 months, then likely it is, then you'll end up reverting back at some point. And it has to be seen as, I'm doing this, and this is a choice I'm going to make for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be.
I think that's all the questions, but Suzanne, I genuinely, firstly, I think, thank you for being so brave, like, to talk about, like, being open and honest about body dysmorphia and your guilt around food and stuff. I think that takes a lot of bravery. So thank you for that. Appreciate your time as well. I know there's going to be a lot of women that will watch this and will really relate to your feelings around food, your body. And I think they'll see a lot of inspiration in you to see that, you know, if this has been this woman's life since she was 18 and she's changed it, like, then I can. And that's what I hope people get from this anyway.
Yeah.
So thank you ever so much. Really, really appreciate it. Ladies, if you're watching at home, you know, appreciated Suzanne, just let her know in the comments. Yes, Sue Shoebridge, one of our clients, she said very motivational. Thank you. So I'm sure there'll be a few comments flying in now. Is there anything else you wanted to add at all before we kind of break off?
Just a quickie. If there's going through their menopause as well, I used to be mad on exercise. I used to exercise every single day, stress my body out. All I do now, is I might do some, I was doing weight training, I still do that sometimes. I walk a hell of a lot because I really enjoy it. I used to run, I don't want to do it, fell out of love with that. And I do yoga, and I think it really makes me feel good. In the morning, I just get up and do yoga. And because of the stress not being put on my body, I think that has really helped me with my weight loss and keeping it off as well.
Yeah.
Because having to stress about getting up and exercising and putting stress on your body every day is not good.
Yeah.
And that took a lot to come to terms with as well. And it's only probably recently, I was still doing it when I was with you guys. I still was up in my weight. I was still doing my you know, exercises like four or five times a week. But now if I just walk all the time and I don't get any chance to do any yoga or any weight training, well, so be it. I just know that I like my walking. If I get my walking in, that's fine.
I think that's a really good, really helpful point. Like, a lot of women don't realize that, you know, when you go through the menopause and estrogen and progesterone go through the floor,
yeah,
females have a reduced capacity to deal with stress. Now, stress doesn't mean, you know, people that annoy you. Like, exercise is stress, diet is stress, like, you know, emotional stress, that they are all stress, and you have a reduced capacity. So if you're thinking, right, I need to do more exercise and punish your body, this is the wrong stage in your life to be doing it. It's just not going to be, it's not going to be helpful at all. And you don't need to, like, as Suzanne said, like, you know, she walks a lot, but if she just did that, she'd still see the results.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cut us off from Facebook, but we'll still be here chatting. So thank you to everyone that showed up this evening and commented and asked questions. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to have some people engage with us and turn up. So I'll see you all Monday next week, 8 p.m. I think got really good. I think I'm going to talk about weight maintenance next week. So how to actually keep the weight off, some really key things that you need to know about that. So hopefully I see loads of you next week at 8 p.m.